Hello, everybody. It's Ed Rosenberg again, and this evening I'm with Michael from uniqueMark.com. Michael, how are you doing today?
Good, Ed. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, as always, it's a pleasure. Now, Michael has been watching some of my videos on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like button. I definitely appreciate that. And you have a solution which you think will help a lot of our sellers. So first of all, tell me a little bit about your background and tell me a little bit about uniqueMark.com, please.
Okay, so uniqueMark came about as a part of a solution where I used to sell a lot of companies' products on Amazon and would run into sellers that would undercut with price. I was told to stick to a MAP price type of structure, maybe $49.95, and as soon as I purchased into a significant amount of inventory, I'd have another seller undercut me, maybe at $48, $47, whatever, and I'd go back with arguments to the manufacturer that I can't sell my merchandise now unless I match their price. And they said,
Right, let me
"Oh,
jump in. Let me jump in because some of the younger
yeah,
people, there used to be some of the younger people don't even know that when they had MAT pricing, so if one person would undercut, it wouldn't be a big deal if one
sure,
person is in New York or one person is in New Jersey. But when you're
mm-hmm,
selling on the internet and everyone's looking at the same listings or a few
right,
listings, okay.
yeah." So everybody was looking at the same listing, different parts of the country. Um, I would get to where I couldn't sell the product anymore, and if I went back to the maker and I said I can't sell this product, well, unless I match these guys' price, why would I even want to carry their product anymore? Um, so it became a point where I thought, all right, there's got to be a solution to this, uh, where somebody can at least try to map their inventory, track it with some type of a serial number, much like a VIN number on a car. And so what I wanted to do was develop this database and this software so that in the future, I could either sell that to these companies or use it on products that I made myself. As it turns out, I got into private label, which much of your sellers are doing the private label now. Um, Specifically in my industry, I'm working in beauty or like skincare and supplements. So with the supplements, I decided to use my software to create the serial numbers, and we encode it with a QR code. And I'm sure we can possibly show that somehow so that somebody can see how the QR code looks on a label, or I can demonstrate. I've got a few here. Um, but basically that QR code encodes the serial number into the QR so that it can be scanned with a gun, smartphone, or just simply look up the serial number at uniqueMark.com, or we have an application where we can put it on the company's website so that if they want to, they can have the consumer validate the serial number on their website.
Now, each
So,
item, okay, go ahead.
yeah. So this serial number, what it does is I call it the four pillars of uniqueMark. There's four different things that it does to help a retailer. Uh, first thing is it reduces counterfeit, whether it's with a supplement or electronic or anything like that, because you can now have a third party have authentic serial numbers on your product uh, that anyone can validate at any time. So it helps with counterfeit. It helps to stop the price diversion, which is going around or about undercutting pricing. Let's say a retailer wants to sell their product at $79.95. Well, by mapping your inventory and having authentic serial numbers you can track, you can essentially shut off the any retailers that aren't adhering to your distribution policies. And then also another pillar is that it helps with customer satisfaction, trust, and loyalty. So now you've got a brand that they can actually trust that they're getting what they're purchasing. They know it's authentic. They can prove it's authentic. And this can go to a number of different categories, whether it's skincare, toys, electronics, handmaids, wine, art, you name it. Like, it just could kind of go on to literally anything that you might want to protect. So in doing so, now you've got the brand loyalty, you've got something that the customer knows they're getting a real product. And what the serial number does is you could actually build in a number of things where you could capture demographics on a consumer. Whereas you could have them say register the serial number for maybe a chance to win tickets to a Super Bowl, who knows what. But you could actually now gather demographics on the consumer that you very likely couldn't grab before. You can map from the whole life cycle of where it was purchased. Well, first where it was made, where it was purchased from, and who the consumer is. 39, white male, demographics 100,000. You could gather, question them to try and find out more about who your consumer is. You may think that your consumer was 25 to 40 white males, and is actually like 15 to 25-year-old unisex. So you can actually potentially better drive your marketing campaigns if you could actually gather more customer data. And it might be something as simple as a prize or a drawing that you're now able to go and capture that. So there's a number of things that you could do with it if you really wanted to, expand on how, other than just a serial number, to, help with pricing. So.
Right. I mean, it helps by pricing because you can figure out who the culprit is.
Who the culprit is, exactly. And yeah, there might be some guys out there that would, buy 500 units if you're going to sell 500 to a guy the first time. And yeah, sure enough, there he is, out there undercutting price and pissing off all the retailers. Well, you can cut off that guy, and now you're going to know where the product went to, and if there's any sort of purchases that want to come in from that blacklisted retailer. You could even question them, or you could have them say, listen, are you affiliated with this party in any way? There's a number of things you could do to try and prevent that party from getting more product. And you could even put it into some type of a reseller agreement, that just to make you aware that these products do come with trackable serial numbers. And if you don't adhere to our pricing policies or suggested retail or whatever it might be, that we will be able to know that you are the one selling below price, because we can now track our units. Right. So it just adds another layer that most products don't have right now. If you were to go on the marketplace and purchase anything, I bet 99.9% of them wouldn't have anything track or trace or a serial number or anything on it. So,
right. Now you had mentioned, because you were a little bit involved in the discussion we were having about seller performance inauthentic.
Oh man, yeah, that's a biggie. I think being able to prove that your products are authentic, whether that's a letter from uniqueMark, that you could add to your dispute and say, every one of our units comes with a valid serial number. You can simply ask the consumer that made the claim what their serial number was. Something to that effect. So right. You would have a lot more, another, bullet in the chamber for ammunition that you can fire off at seller support to see if you can get reinstated. Because I know myself, I've had, even with the serial numbers on, I've had a claim, which it's like, okay, that's not really possible, if they did their research but it's nice to be able to show them a digital label and to show them that, every product has its own unique, I have to specify that. It's not a UPC, it's not a barcode. This is a unique serial number.
Now, what's stopping somebody from just peeling off the barcode and then
Well, then it's counterfeit. I mean, if it was a retailer trying to get around it. Now, see, that's what I was going to show you, like on this product in particular, like it's built into the label. So there's no way around it. I mean, there's not much you can do. And if a retailer tried to, I don't know, tear it out, I mean, you would instantly, they would get nailed for selling counterfeit goods. So by incorporating it into a label, that's the best way. And we've done it even like on a small bottle, like it's literally, smaller than a pinky nail. So it can be done on almost anything and still have the full functionality of the serial number. But yeah, that counterfeit violation, even when it's authentic, you're going to be able to provide some sort of a purchase order in most cases. But if it's your own brand and you want to protect your own brand for literally a few pennies, we're not talking like some exorbitant amount, We're talking pennies to add it to your packaging, label, whatever. I mean, I can't see it not making sense to most brand owners. We can work with pretty much any digital label press. The quality of the labels that we're getting on our bottles are second to none, and it's the same quality as the old stuff used to be. The stamped press, the digital press, we have no problems with that. So, and at a cost of whatever your normal label is, it's going to be basically the same price. So it's kind of hard to justify not doing it to add that protection. And a lot of guys, there's a lot of companies that want to make a product and they're worried about this, A, counterfeit, B, how do we stick to a price point if we do want to grow? They're afraid to do distribution because they're afraid of what's going to happen to the marketplace once they flood it with 15 retailers. How are we going to hold that $30 price point? Well, by mapping your inventory and where it goes and who it goes to, and making sure the retailer knows up front, we will know which products you have, which serial numbers you have. I mean, you're kind of doing a preemptive strike to stop it. But if you're just selling wholesale or doing distribution or whatever, then you're basically just doing a shotgun approach, throwing it out there into the marketplace and letting the market dictate whatever your product's going to sell for. So I think it's one of these things where I think it should be more the norm than the exception to the rule. Unfortunately, right now it's not. And, a uniqueMark would be the one that could get it done. It's just a matter of growing and bringing it to the marketplace and introducing it to companies that didn't even know it existed, didn't even know they could do it for a couple pennies.
Yeah, it seems like a no-brainer, and it's perfect for private label.
Yeah, for sure.
So it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, Michael, definitely sounds like a clever idea. I appreciate you reaching out, and I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
Excellent. You're welcome.
Be well. Bye.